Hello students, now we will discuss the triangles of neck part 1. So triangle of neck which दो parts में हमने बनाया video. So this one the part 1. Here we will discuss the introduction of triangle, surface anatomy, contents of the triangles and the applied anatomy. So normally this diagram, this is the lateral view of head and neck. So triangle of the neck है तो neck के बारे में बात करेंगे. So this area which I am shading in yellow color, this area is the neck. So this area is actually, you can appreciate, quadrilateral what, that means इसके 4 angles हैं. Okay, so this is the quadrilateral area. Our neck is quadrilateral and this quadrilateral area is superiorly bounded by this line. This is the border of mandible, so base of mandible or border of mandible, and this is the angle of the jaw or angle of the mandible. Here we have the mastoid process, so there is a imaginary line adjoining these 2 points. Which points? Angle of mandible and mastoid process. So this forms the superior boundary of this quadrilateral surface till the symphysis mentae. Symphysis mentae क्या है बच्चों? The joint of 2 right and left mandibular plate. So this will form the superior line. Anteriorly, this is symphysis mentae, and this whole line is known as the median plane. Median plane में क्या होता है बच्चों? Symphysis mentae, then we have the hyoid bone, then we have the thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage, and here we have the jugular fossa. So this will form the anterior median line. Inferiorly this structure, this is clavicle. Inferiorly it is bounded by clavicle. Posteriorly this muscle is the trapezium. So posteriorly it is bounded by the anterior margin. This is the anterior margin of the trapezium. So like this, our neck anterior laterally it is the quadrilateral area. ये क्वाड्रिलेटरल एरिया बच्चों दिस sternocleidomastoidus मसल जो होता है उसके फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड नो द sternocleidomastoidus. दिस मसल जो मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट इन द सुपरफिशियल मसल होता है हमारी नेक का, दिस इज द sternocleidomastoidus मसल जो मैं अभी येलो कलर में शेड कर रहा हूँ. सोचो दिस इज sternocleidomastoidus. दिस मसल will divide the quadrilateral area into 2 parts. This is posterior part and this one the anterior part. You can appreciate this thing is one triangle and this one is the second triangle. So the quadrilateral area of neck is divided into 2 triangles by sternocleidomastoidus, the anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. Again, quadrilateral area, this is the quadrilateral area. This area is divided by sternocleidomastoidus. So here again you can appreciate this thing, the base of mandible, mastoid process, anterior median line, clavicle. This is the anterior border of trapezium. So this area is a quadrilateral area, and here you can appreciate this muscle. This is the sternocleidomastoidus muscle. So this muscle is dividing this area into 2 triangles, the posterior triangle which I am shading now. This is the posterior triangle and the anterior triangle. This one is the area of anterior triangle. So now I think it is very clear that neck has 2 triangles. Majorly neck is composed of 2 triangles, the anterior triangle which I have shaded in yellow color and the posterior triangles. So in this video we will discuss only about the anterior triangles. So here same that diagram. Now the anterior triangle हमने अभी बात की थी. This is the sternocleidomastoidus muscle. This one is the sternocleidomastoidus muscle. Anterior to sternocleidomastoidus, this is anterior side, is the anterior triangle. So this is the anterior triangle, and same boundaries are same. Anterior triangle is bounded by, this is the anterior median plane running from the symphysis mentae till the jugular fossa, and medially this is bounded by the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoidus. Base, you can appreciate ये उल्टा है बच्चों triangle. This is the base, like this is a triangular area. So this one is the base. So base is the base of mandible, and superiorly this is the line joining the angle of mandible and the mastoid process. So this area is the anterior triangle. Now this anterior triangle we will discuss in detail. The anterior lateral surface same वही वाला आया बच्चों, इसकी रिवीजन है. Divided into anterior triangle and the posterior triangle. The anterior triangle is again divided into 4 triangles: submental, digestic, carotid and muscular triangles. We will discuss these 4 triangles in this video. Posterior triangle is next divided in occipital and the supraclavicular triangle. For this you have to watch my second video of the neck. So subdivisions of the anterior triangle. Anterior triangle की subdivision हमने अभी बोला 4 triangles. This is the sternocleidomastoidus. Anterior to sternocleidomastoidus we have the anterior triangle. This anterior triangle is divided into 4 triangles by the superior valley of omohyoid and the digestic muscle. So here you can appreciate this area. Here we have the digestic muscle. I will shade only digestic. This is the anterior valley, posterior valley of digestic muscle, and next video में आपको दिखाऊंगा we have omohyoid. This is the inferior valley of omohyoid, and here is the superior valley behind the sternocleidomastoidus. So this muscle and this muscle, so these two muscles will divide the anterior triangle into 4 triangles, that is submental, digestic, carotid and the muscular triangle. First of all the submental, नाम बता रहा बच्चों, submental, that is sub means below, the mental means the mandible. So below the mandible we have a triangle. This is the submental triangle. This is the only triangle which is present on both sides. That means this is present on median plane. बच्चों this is lateral view, this one is anterior posterior view. आगे से हम देख रहे हैं. So here we have the mandible. We have only one triangle like this which is present on both sides. Otherwise this is the median plane. तो जो सारी ट्रायंगल या तो राइट साइड होंगी, बोथ साइड होती हैं, राइट साइड एंड द लेफ्ट साइड, बट दिस इज द ओनली ट्रायंगल जो दोनों साइड एक्सटेंड करती है. सो द बाउंड्रीज ऑफ दिस ट्रायंगल, ऑन ईच साइड वी हैव this muscle. This is the anterior valley of digestic muscle. So on each side we have the anterior valley of digestic muscle. Base, you can appreciate the lower side. This is the hyoid bone. So base is toward the hyoid bone and the apex is toward the chin. So this is a triangle which is known as the submental triangle. Floor is formed by the muscle mylohyoid muscle. माइलोहॉइड मसल नेक्स्ट डायग्राम में दिखाऊंगा बच्चों. टू साइड से राइट एंड लेफ्ट साइड से माइलोहॉइड मसल के ऐसे फाइबर्स होते हैं. दे विल ज्वाइन इन द मीडियन प्लेन, दैट इज नोन एज द मीडियन रफे. सो हियर यू कैन अप्रिशिएट, हमने दिस इज द राइट साइड, दिस इज द लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द dissected specimen of the neck. In this diagram on left side you can appreciate sternocleidomastoidus, the sternal head, the clavicular head of the sternocleidomastoidus. इसके अलग वीडियो है, you can watch that video. Here we have the only cut section of sternal and clavicular head. Below this sternal, beneath this muscle, we have the other layers of the muscles. So here we have the base of mandible, and this is the anterior belly of digestic muscle. This is the cut section of anterior belly of the digestic muscle, like this. And here we have the hyoid bone. So this triangle between the two digestic muscles and the hyoid bone is the submental triangle, and you can appreciate these fibers, and this is median raphe. These fibers of the muscle, this is mylohyoid. So this is the triangle about which we are discussing. अगर मैं पहले की बात करूं बच्चों, तो anterior triangle is here in front of sternocleidomastoides, हमने बात की थी. This is the area of anterior triangle. Now हमने बोला this digestic muscle has divided first triangle, and this muscle you should know deep to sternocleidomastoides, बच्चों कट सेक्शन है. sternocleidomastoides को हमने काट दिया है. उसके बाद you can appreciate this muscle. This is omohyoid, the superior belly and the inferior belly of omohyoid. So ये anterior triangle को muscle आगे like this is sternocleidomastoides. So omohyoid भी एक triangle बनाएगा, हम इसकी बात करेंगे superior. So contents of this submental triangle has same नाम के बच्चों submental lymph nodes which are very important. Submental lymph nodes, these lymph nodes will drain the superficial tissue below the chin के नीचे वाला, it is important. Then central part of the lip, बच्चों only the central part of the lip and adjoining gum, and the anterior part of the floor of mouth, and most important the tip of the tongue. Tip of the tongue के lymph nodes बच्चों submental होते हैं. That means if there is a cancer CA of tip of lung, then lymphadenopathy कहाँ के lymph nodes की होगी? This. Or if there is any infection of this area, the lymphadenopathy will occur only in this area first of all. Okay. Then they will have efferent nodules, and it has vein. This area has a vein that is known as the anterior jugular vein. So बच्चों we have anterior jugular vein. Anterior jugular vein यहाँ होती है बच्चों in this triangle. So digestic triangle, second triangle is digestic triangle which is also known as submandibular. Submental actually बच्चों यहाँ पे mental foramen होता है, foramen mentalis, उसके नाम से आया है. This is submental. Submandibular gland होती है हमारे पास below the mandible, उसके नाम से आया है. So submandibular and digestic is muscle. So इसका नाम ही बता रहा है इसकी लोकेशन एंड दी बाउंड्रीज. सो यू नो जो मैंने अभी शेड किया है, दिस इज द एंटीरियर वैली ऑफ डाइगेस्टिक एंड हियर इज द पोस्टीरियर वैली ऑफ डाइगेस्टिक मसल. सो you can appreciate this side is inferior side, this side is superior side of the body. If I am only watching this area, this is anterior. So anterior inferior is the anterior belly of the digestic muscle. This is posterior हो गया ना बच्चों, खुद ही अगर ये anterior है तो this is posterior. So posterior inferior is the posterior belly of digestic and stylohyoid. So this is important. We have stylohyoid muscle here. You should remember this small muscle, stylohyoid muscle. This is question. Otherwise तो simple है बच्चों. Anterior inferior is anterior belly of digestic, posterior inferior is posterior belly of digestic, and the base is formed by the base of mandible and the line adjoining till the mastoid process. So this is a triangular area which is known as the digestic triangle or submandibular triangle. Okay. The roof of submandibular triangle. So बच्चों this will be the roof. रूफ पे अगर मैं यहाँ किसी भी ट्रायंगल की बात करूँगा, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल स्किन. So roof of this triangle is formed by the skin. Then superficial fascia. Superficial fascia में हमारे पास हमने बात की है, this is the platysma. Superficial fascia में जो मसल होता है that is platysma. But you should remember platysma पूरी नेक को कॉलर की तरह वाइंड नहीं करता, only anterior side तक होता है. Then we have the cervical branch of facial nerve. Here we have the facial nerve, ascending branch of the transverse and anterior cutaneous nerves of the neck, and the deep fascia. Deep fascia layer होती है जो है, उस पर अलग वीडियो है, you can see. and the submandibular gland. Submandibular salivary gland is the content of digestic triangle or submandibular triangle. So here is the area of the triangle, and in this area you can see this is the submandibular gland. So floor of this area, this gland is formed by the muscle. This muscle you can see, it is forming the floor. So floor is mainly formed by mylohyoid muscle and the hyoglossal muscle. Two muscles are forming the floor, mylohyoid, और बच्चों mylohyoid के पीछे छोटा मसल होता है hyoglossal muscle है. These two muscles are forming the floor of digestic triangle or the submandibular triangle. Deep to them, अगर मैं इनकी dissection कर दूं, we have pharynx. So we have the middle constrictor muscles of the pharynx. They are the three pairs of the muscles are forming the floor of the triangle. Floor of the triangle में बच्चों हमने first muscle किया mylohyoid, second behind it is hypoglossal. It is not hypo, sorry, it is hyoglossal. You should pronounce it as hyoglossal, hyoglossal, and then the middle constrictor muscle of the pharynx. Those are deep. pharynx है बच्चों इसके अंदर, so deep muscles. Content अब इस ट्रायंगल के, जिस ट्रायंगल की हमने बात की है, this is the digestic triangle or submandibular triangle. So इसका content, main content of this is the structure of the mylohyoid muscle. These are the main part. The gland, submandibular gland, facial vein. We have tortuous vein here, tortuous artery, facial artery, and for facial vein here with the its tributaries. Facial artery is deep as compared to vein. Then submental artery and nerve of this muscle. जो इसका muscle की floor बना रहा कौन था, mylohyoid. तो इसकी nerve होती है and vessel होती है इसके नीचे बच्चों. And we have the hypoglossal nerve. So this thing should be very clear. Nerve is hypoglossal, muscle is hyoglossal. Okay, muscle is hyoglossal, nerve is hypoglossal. Now posterior part of this triangle will have structures like the parotid gland. बच्चों this is the area of parotid gland. parotid gland की apex toward the neck होती है. So apex of the parotid gland is present in this triangle posteriorly. अगर मैं इस triangle की बात करूं, again in the diagram, this is the triangle. parotid नाम से clear होता है. parotid gland is around the ear, ear से आगे होती है like this. So this triangle has anterior part and the posterior part. कौन सी triangle? digestic triangle. anterior part के contents हमने कर लिए बच्चों. posterior part में क्या है? the parotid gland. then external carotid artery. external carotid artery neck से आती है बच्चों like this. then it has to enter in the substance of the parotid. then it will give again branches. बाहर भी देती है, ऐसा नहीं कि अंदर ही देती है. तो external carotid artery is also content of this triangle. then the structure deep to the external and internal carotid arteries. these are, इन दोनों के बीच में होता है styloglossal muscle, stylopharyngeus, glossopharyngeal nerve, the pharyngeal branch of vagus nerve and styloid process. some part of parotid gland वो हमने पहले ही बोल दिया है. deep structures, deep structures में हमारे पास होती है deep is internal carotid, external is superficial, internal is deep, and the internal jugular vein with vagus. so these are the actually structures of carotid sheath. they are present deep in this triangle. here you can appreciate we have discussed about this triangle. इसके anterior part में आपने ये gland पढ़ी, submandibular gland and those muscles. here you can appreciate the cut section of parotid. parotid is like this. so posteriorly parotid आ गई बच्चों. then we have the external carotid artery, deep में internal carotid artery. we have internal jugular vein, external ऊपर होती है बच्चों. so internal jugular vein. these are the major structure of this triangle. next is carotid triangle. it is more important as compared to other triangles. short note आता है MBBS में इसके ऊपर. So carotid triangle. Here in this diagram you can appreciate this is sternocleidomastoidus and it is the median plane. This one is the submental triangle. Yellow color is digestic triangle. Now here we have a muscle, this one जिसकी हमने बात की थी. This is omohyoid. Superior value of omohyoid, inferior value of omohyoid, green color में बच्चों. So the superior value of omohyoid divides anterior triangle into two parts. That is, upper part is carotid triangle. So this one is the carotid triangle. It is actually present, अगर बच्चों ध्यान से देखो, posterior, it is anterior, this side is posterior. So carotid triangle is posterior superior to the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. You can appreciate another triangle, this triangle. यहाँ भी मैं बच्चों सेम ही मसल की बात करूँगा. द सुपीरियर वैल्यू ऑफ ओमोहॉइड. तो इस सुपीरियर वैल्यू ऑफ ओमोहॉइड के एक बेटा पोस्टीरियर सुपीरियर ट्रायंगल है, एक आपके पास इंफीरियर ट्रायंगल है. सुपीरियर ट्रायंगल इज कैरोटिड ट्रायंगल, इंफीरियर इज मस्कुलर, वो हम बात करेंगे. सो फ्रॉम दिस डायग्राम यू कैन इजीली अप्रिशिएट दैट स्ट्रक्चर्स or the boundaries from of this triangle. The anterior superior, this is anterior superior. Here is the muscle जिसने ऊपर वाली triangle बनाई थी. Okay, yeah, this is digestic muscle. So anterior superior, the border is formed by the posterior belly of digestic muscle. Here this is the posterior belly of digestic muscle and stylohyoid muscle. Anterior inferior same. एंटीरियर इंफीरियर हम इसके लिए ग्रीन कलर ही यूज कर रहे थे. तो एंटीरियर इंफीरियर इज द सुपीरियर वैल्यू ऑफ ओमोहॉइड मसल. पोस्टीरियरली वी हैव द स्टर्नोक्लिडोमास्टोइड मसल. वी नो दिस इज द एंटीरियर बॉर्डर. स्टर्नोक्लिडोमास्टोइडस है, उसका एंटीरियर बॉर्डर है बच्चों एंड पोस्टीरियर बॉर्डर. सो द एंटीरियर बॉर्डर ऑफ स्टर्नोक्लिडोमास्टोइडस, omohyoid and digestic muscle, they will form a triangle. This is known as the carotid triangle. Again here you can appreciate the area. This is sternocleidomastoidus. Here this one is the anterior border black color में और blue वाला था posterior color, posterior border of the sternocleidomastoidus, and this area is the median plane. So एक triangular area हुआ. इस triangular area को डेप्थ में, डीप में ओमोहॉइड मसल ने दो में डिवाइड कर दिया. द सुपीरियर वैल्यू ऑफ ओमोहॉइड ने दो में डिवाइड कर दिया. यहाँ पे हमारे पास ये थी. लास्ट में हम एक और बच्चों रिवाइज भी कर लेंगे. दिस वाज द डाइजेस्टिक. सो ओमोहॉइड ने इसको दो में डिवाइड कर दिया. अपर ट्रायंगुलर पार्ट इज द कैरोटिड ट्रायंगल. नाउ रूफ, अगेन सबकी रूफ में स्किन होगी बच्चों. स्किन, देन superficial fascia, that is the platysma and the muscles. Here we have the cervical branches of facial nerve. यहाँ facial nerve की supply होती है. We know facial nerve के अलग lecture है, you can watch that lecture. Then transverse cutaneous nerve of the neck. Then the investing layer of the deep fascia. पूरी neck को बच्चों ये fascia cover करता है like this. Skin के अंदर investing layer fascia होता है, बाहर skin है. पूरी नेक के लिए स्किन होती है. स्किन के अंदर बच्चों अंदर जाऊंगा तो प्लेटिज्मा सिर्फ ऐसे एंटीरियरली होता है, बाकी नहीं होता. उसके बाद इन्वेस्टिंग लेयर है. वैसे इन पे अलग वीडियो है, यू कैन वॉच दैट वीडियो. सो दिस विल आल्सो कवर द नेक एंड द ट्रायंगल. नाउ हियर इन दिस डायग्राम यू कैन अप्रिशिएट दिस इज द कट सेक्शन ऑफ स्टर्नोक्लिडोमास्टोइडस. वही फर्स्ट वाली डायग्राम आ गई बच्चों. एंड हियर दिस इज द superior value of omohyoid. Superior value of omohyoid. So this, and here we have the digestic muscle, posterior value of digestic and stylohyoid muscle. Like this, we have a triangular area. This area is known as the carotid triangle. Yeah, I should use dark color. So yeah, this is the area. तो floor of this triangle is formed by the different muscles. So अंदर बच्चों इसके अंदर यहाँ पे फेरिंग्स होती है. अगर मैं और डेप्थ में जाऊँ तो वी हैव द फेरिंग्स. तो फेरिंग के मसल इसकी फ्लोर बनाएंगे. द मीडियल कंस्ट्रिक्टर मसल ऑफ द फेरिंग्स विल फॉर्म द फ्लोर. मीडियल कंस्ट्रिक्टर, उसके नीचे होते हैं इन्फीरियर एंड इन्फीरियर कंस्ट्रिक्टर. सुपीरियर नहीं होते, ध्यान रखना. कैरोटिड ट्रायंगल में सुपीरियर नहीं होते, दोज आर सुपीरियर. सो इन्फीरियर कंस्ट्रिक्टर एंड द superior middle constrictor of the pharynx muscle will form the floor of carotid triangle. Also we have the thyroid membrane. Here we have the hyoid bone. Here we have the thyroid cartilage. In between these two we have a membrane that is known as thyroid membrane. So this will form the floor. Content नाम से ही बच्चों आधा तो क्लियर है. It will have the carotid artery, common carotid artery, carotid sinus, carotid body. So carotid sinus and carotid body are present in this triangle. Here you can appreciate this structure. This is artery, carotid artery. Then we have the internal carotid artery, also content of this. External carotid artery with its branches. यहीं पे बच्चों carotid sheath होती है जिसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. This is the carotid sheath. This will known as the carotid sheath. तो carotid sheath में ही ये branches होती हैं external carotid artery की. Superior thyroid, then the lingual, facial, ascending pharyngeal and occipital branches. ये सारी branches, these are the बोलने का मतलब बच्चों ये है carotid triangle में we have the common carotid, its branches. common carotid की branches होती है internal and external. Then the branches of external carotid, internal की नहीं होती because internal inside the skull enter करती है. Vein, you can appreciate this structure. So this is the jugular vein, internal jugular vein. external नहीं होती बच्चों यहाँ पे. क्यों नहीं होती वो आगे दिखाऊंगा. external is superficial, external superficial होती है. anterior यहाँ होती है बच्चों. So in this area we have the internal jugular vein with its tributaries, the common facial vein, then the pharyngeal vein, then we have the lingual veins. These veins are actually the tributaries of internal jugular vein. So mainly यहाँ का content क्या हुआ, artery and the vein. Internal carotid artery, external carotid artery, common carotid artery with its branches, and the internal jugular vein with its tributaries. Arteries बच्चे यहाँ सारी हैं internal external, but vein is only internal. This is deep. Muscles के नीचे है ना ये triangle, you can appreciate muscle के नीचे deep है. So deep में we have the internal jugular vein. This is the question. Then we have the nerve. यहाँ पे nerve भी होगी. यहाँ mainly nerve is the vagus nerve. यहाँ बच्चों इन दोनों के बीच में artery और vein के बीच में nerve होती है. So this nerve will give its branches, that the superior laryngeal branch, and this superior laryngeal branch again gives the branches, that is external and internal laryngeal branches. All are the content of the carotid triangle. Then spinal accessory nerve. Spinal accessory nerve is the 11 number nerve that is also content of this triangle. Then we have the hypoglossal nerve, which is in relation to external and the internal carotid artery. We have here ansa cervicalis and some branches to the thyroid muscles. Sympathetic plexus is also present here. Carotid sheath वो भी हम बात करेंगे, उसी के ये contents हैं. So this is the area of carotid triangle, and the carotid triangle is very important because it contains internal carotid, common carotid, external carotid artery with its branches, then internal jugular vein, vagus nerve, and ansa cervicalis, also spinal accessory nerve. Lymph nodes, quite easy. Deep cervical lymph nodes are present. They are running along the internal jugular vein. It also includes jugulo-digestic lymph nodes and the jugulo-omohyoid lymph nodes. Now what is carotid sheath? Otherwise carotid sheath जो हमने वीडियो है हमारी डीप फेशिया ऑफ द नेक उसमें एक्सप्लेन की है. यहाँ लिटिल बिट हम बात कर लेते हैं. कैरोटिड शीथ इज ए sheath like structure, it is a just modification of deep fascia which is present in carotid triangle, and it is covering the vessels in carotid triangle. Vessels के around एक sheath बनती है बेटो, that is known as the carotid sheath. It is just the facial sheath, it is the condensation of deep fascia of the neck, and it is covering the structures. अगर बच्चों आप इन structures की बात करें from lateral to medial, this side is lateral side, this side is the medial side. So lateral to medial we have the vein, this is internal jugular vein, then we have the nerve, the vagus nerve, and medial most is the common carotid artery. Veins are maximum anterior inferior, तो vein anterior और inferior की सबसे पहले vein है, then nerve है, then we have the artery. Next we have the muscular triangle. नाम बता रहा है muscle, muscular triangle. Again बच्चों वही diagram आ गई. This is the sternocleidomastoidus muscle, sternal head of sternocleidomastoidus muscle, and here you can appreciate this bone. This is the hyoid bone. We have a median plane or median line like this. So inferior to hyoid bone, a triangle is present which is known as the muscular triangle. The anterior boundary is the anterior median line joining from the hyoid bone to the sternum or the jugular fossa. So ये एक line बनी बच्चों. This is the anterior boundary of muscular triangle. Inferior posterior is the anterior margin of the sternocleidomastoidus. This one is the sternocleidomastoidus, and posterior superior is the superior valley of digestic. So again this is the digestic muscle, so, and this is median plane, this is anterior side, this is posterior side. So here we can appreciate this triangle. This triangle has boundaries. कैसे बनी बच्चों इसकी? Anterior boundary is anterior median line running from the hyoid bone till the jugular notch. अब बच्चों anterior है and this is inferior side, this one is superior, inferior. So anterior inferior is the sternocleidomastoidus, anterior border of sternocleidomastoidus. Posterior superior is the omohyoid. So this is the muscular triangle. The contents, it's very easy. नाम muscular है, सारे muscles है बच्चों. हमने पहले बोला hyoid से नीचे, so infrahyoid muscles are below the hyoid. These are also known as the stapes muscle. So infrahyoid muscles are the contents of this triangle. Infrahyoid muscles में हमारे पास होता क्या क्या है बच्चों? We have the sternothyroid, thyroid and the omohyoid. चार मसल है, याद कैसे करने? बच्चों this area is of sternum, here is clavicle. I should change color. So black color में we have the clavicle बच्चों, and in green color this is the sternum. Upper black color is the hyoid bone. So sternum से hyoid तक, sternohyoid. अगर मैंने ये देखो sternoclavicular को डाइसेक्ट कर दिया, उसके बिलो की बात कर रहा हूँ. sternohyoid मसल, sternum से hyoid तक sternohyoid मसल नाम बता रहा है. From sternum to hyoid, sternohyoid मसल. नेक्स्ट मैंने sternohyoid भी डाइसेक्ट कर दिया राइट साइड का. अब sternohyoid डाइसेक्ट कर दिया तो इसके मुझे थोड़ा लेटरली सेकंड मसल मिलता है इसके डीप में, दैट इज द sternothyroid. Sternothyroid is from sternum to the thyroid. This one is the thyroid cartilage ना. तो till the thyroid, sternum से thyroid तक sternothyroid. Sternum to thyroid. Next is the from thyroid to hyoid. Thyroid to hyoid is thyrohyoid, and omohyoid. Omo is scapula. So omohyoid is from scapula. This is the area of scapula. इस मसल ये trapezius है, इसके नीचे scapula है अंदर. So this is omohyoid. Inferior valley. Here is superior valley. So these are the muscles: the omohyoid muscle, the sternohyoid muscle, sternothyroid muscle, thyroid muscle. These are present in this triangle, left side as well as the right side. These are the contents of this triangle. I think it's very clear now. So here you can appreciate. Last में बचा revision है, fast revision करेंगे हम. We have sternocleidomastoidus muscle. This muscle divided the neck anterior triangles and the posterior triangles. Anterior triangle is again divided by omohyoid muscle and digestic muscle in other triangles. So digestic muscle divides the first triangle, submental, below the mental foramen, submental triangle. Then laterally it has submandibular triangle. Anteriorly is the muscular triangle. Anteriorly we have the muscular triangle, and omohyoid, above the omohyoid we have the fourth triangle, that is the carotid triangle. So most important features: submental triangle has submental lymph nodes, tip of tongue, lip, center part of lip, and the chin will drain here. Submandibular gland, rest part of face and tongue will drain here. Then parotid gland, tip of parotid gland. These are the structures in the digestic. Then in carotid, common carotid, external carotid, internal carotid with branches of external carotid artery, the internal jugular vein, and the vagus nerve and the other nerves, hypoglossal nerve, etc. The muscular triangle only contains muscles. Those are infrahyoid muscle below the hyoid. So thank you. If you have any question, any query, or any suggestion, you can give.